Cubo.
There's nobody there yet. Why do you say it like that?
Cubo. Like, can you just say hello?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
How about that? How about that?
You're not on the 6th floor anymore, dude.
You don't know where I'm
You're
at.
not in Santa Rita.
Shut the hell up.
Or Rhining or wherever the heck you've been. Jeez.
Shut up. See, now there's people gonna come in. They're gonna hear you talking the nonsense.
I don't care. I've been on this I don't care thing lately. Oh no, that's been my whole life.
AP, what's up? Dice, órale, saludos, gente.
Oh, well, hello, AP.
Burqueño came in, get the fist bumps at
Okay.
100.
Hello.
AP said, Burque. ¿Qué huele ese grillo? Said Johnny Chingas. What's up, brother?
Oh, been a minute.
Johnny Chingas been missing in action. Tony G said, Jovan, some tamales, por favor.
I can't cook them up, but I know a place that does.
Yeah, her mom's house.
That, or we actually found some at a store that are actually really good.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
Tamales, por favor. AP said, saludos. Güero Lira, what's up, bro? Dice, ¿qué huele? Saludos. It's a happy Father's Day, vato. You too, bro. To all of you.
Happy Father's Day to all you guys.
Yeah. To all the ones that really are fathers. Not just, pretend.
Oh.
AP said, oh, yeah, happy Father's Day. Yes, see, Russell Soto, word read. Bro, what's up, Russell? How you doing, brother? Burqueño said, AP, what's up, bro? AP said, how's the nonprofit, bro? It's okay. It's okay. It's doing good. Well, it's not doing good. It's there.
No, but you've been working on it.
I have been working on it. So far what I've done is I actually built a whole curriculum for it, including like quizzes and stuff. And I wanted to put all that together so I have something to present when I come to the table with probation officers, juvenile, school principals, all that stuff. I can actually have something of substance to show them. So that's what I did. I actually built kind of like a 12-week curriculum, and with each week ends with a quiz. And it's not crazy. It's just, one of the weeks is like kind of teaches them financial planning and stuff. Just life skills. It's gonna be a little bit of everything, obviously. And then one of the other things that I want to do before I ever really before I think it all gets off the ground is I would like to see if I can get an app built, like an actual application that we can put on the Apple Store and the iOS Store, where we can use it for the mentors to connect with the kids that we have in the program. I know there's probably an easier way, but nowadays everybody kind of relies on technology and stuff. So I think it'd be a good thing to have that and have them do, have them be able to get a hold of mentors through the app and stuff. So it's just one of the ideas.
I'm also going to start my own app, Hugs and Happy Meals. So if get a hug through the phone, Uber eats you a Happy Meal. If you have childhood problems that you need to get over, here we are.
There it is.
So there's that. That is all here in the future.
Yeah, but now, EP, for reals, I think we're getting there. We're getting to the point where I can kind of. I realized for a while it's all a learning process, but I realized for a while that I didn't really have much to present. You know what I mean? Besides a name and what we wanted to do. But if I sat across from, a decision maker in a juvenile facility, I wouldn't have much to, bring to the table. Yeah. So I wanted to get this curriculum together, these apps. I want to, I've been having people been going on the website, signing up to be a mentor, just have all the ducks in a row so that when we do present this, it's presented as a viable option. You know what I mean? Something that's really, it's not willy-nilly just testing shit, and you know what I mean, like throwing everything at the damn wall and hoping something sticks.
I think you need more than just your little story, and
Well, definitely, yeah, it can't be
you're
just
not
that.
gonna also get in on your looks. So, I mean, it's.
Well, the looks will do a lot,
No.
but it might not
But you
change.
got to get in there with something, a plan, a program, not just
Yeah.
Hey, let me talk to these kids.
Yeah.
To have something, for a backup is also a good idea.
Yep. So let's see. Art Lopez, what's up, brother? He says, "Sup, Spider? Hello, white picket fence. What's up, brother? How you doing?"
Oh, hey, how are you?
Yep,
I'm good. Just here, being a wife. So we got married. Oh yeah, guys. Hey, we got married on Friday.
Yeah, we did.
By the way, we got married on Friday the 13th.
We did. It was scary.
June 13th was actually the day that we met 23 years ago.
Yeah.
23 years ago, I met him on June 13th, and that's when, he fell in love with me, and, the rest is history. But, yeah, we got married this Friday. We had a good Father's Day weekend, so a lot happened over the weekend. So, I don't feel any different, to be honest.
Yeah.
We've been together for so long that
we just signed the papers.
Yeah, went to the courthouse, got the paperwork.
Got it done.
So yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of more cooking lately.
Yeah, she cooked tonight.
Don't.
What? I'm just looking at the food. That's all I'm saying.
You're very full, right? And you liked it?
I have leftovers, guys, if you guys would like some.
Oh my God. I did not.
Bueno, Lira, gracias. Salud. Johnny Chinga says, saludos, Giovanna.
Hi.
Mike Mercado said, what's happening from Dixon, California, NorCal? Orale, what's up, brother? What's happening? Right back at you, bro. Russell Soto said, doing, brother? I think you meant how you doing, brother? Something like that. I'm good, bro. Johnny Chinga says, saludos a todos on the chat.
Oh, nice.
Tony G said, Crix, whatever happened to Ty?
Ty's still around.
Yeah, he was here. I don't know if he was here last one, but he was here the one before that. He's actually back in town. I don't know if you guys had heard or seen, but he had moved to Texas, Houston, I think, or Austin, one of the two. And last time he came on, it must have been a week. The last live or the one before that, he told us that he was back in town again. So, but he's still there. He's always around. Craig, do you think Trump will strike Iran? Bro, I don't know, but what I do know is that Iron Dome ain't so iron after all. They're striking the shit out of Israel. I mean, listen, bro, politics is something you're not supposed to really talk about because it gets people upset. But I'll tell you this, man, I think the United States needs to start minding their business. We always go into war for other people. And I know that, there's going to be all the rhetoric behind it. Some people are going to say, well, if we don't, then they can do this and that, and all this other stuff can happen. And whether it's true or not, I don't know. But you punch me in the eye, I'm going to try and punch you back. So, I mean, I think self-defense is always a viable option. And you can't blame somebody for wanting to defend themselves, both sides, I guess. So if that's what happens and that's what goes on, but I tell you what, if Trump gets involved, then I think it becomes a whole nother, you give a lot of people the excuse to get in, you know what I mean? So hopefully not, man, because, nobody wants war, people dying and all that for things that really aren't even nothing to do with us in the end. I know, I get it, the nuclear program, but again, I just see, I'm more of I think what's fair is fair, and I think it's hypocritical to tell one country you can't do what we've done. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Bueno, Lira, Burqueño, saludos ese. Javier Hernandez. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh,
He
it's
said,
been a
as you
minute. I hope
receive
you're
this
okay.
humble message that I send with all respect, I hope and pray that you're all well. Your humble servant here. What's up, brother?
Oh, okay.
There you go. How you doing, bro? Hopefully you're
Bro.
doing well, Javier.
Gel letters, okay?
That's the
Oh, that brings me back.
goes back to the
Yeah.
I received your most welcome, mama. Javier, what Olira say? Oh, he put the little people's smile, not cralere, torcido, cholo. Cricks, can you touch the tip of your nose with your tongue? Hell no, no, bro. And even if I could, I wouldn't do it for you.
Mhm.
Could I?
Don't do it on here. Don't
I'm
get
not,
weird
but
on
I'm just checking. But I don't think, bro, my tongue ain't that. No, no way. I don't, there's no way.
here.
No way. But like I said, if I could, I wouldn't show you freaks. Purqueño Segrio, would you mind if we were to put out your nonprofit on other social media accounts, or is that something you'd rather do on your own? Absolutely, bro. No, not. I would much rather whoever can put it out and do it, do so. Uh, do it. I can't do nothing on my own, brother. It's gonna take. It takes everybody to get things stuff like that going. So yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I would welcome it and actually ask for it, brother. So yeah, Simon, absolutely. Daniel Pina said, "What up, Crick? Happy Father's Day to all. I just became a grandpa yesterday."
Oh,
There you go.
congratulations. I know Francisco VP became a grandpa. There's a lot of grandpas.
Yeah,
How fun to, start that new chapter in your life. Um, I hope my kid has kids one day. Not right now, but one day, because I really want to be a grandma. I
yeah,
really do. But he's still young. He's only 22, so he's got some time. He thinks that, him being an only child, and he's like, I don't know if I could care for another person. Am I too selfish? Am I too spoiled? But to be honest, he really looks out after like his little cousins and
yeah.
his friends and all that. So I think he would be a great father, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready yet just because of the maturity level. Not just that, but financially. But I think that I think he would be
Yeah.
when he's ready and he has all his stuff ready. I mean, I don't know if you're ever really ready um until you
I
jump
just want
in.
him to be a little bit more set up than we
Yeah.
were. But I can't wait. And congratulations to those who are grandparents. I mean, I bet it's a different feeling. I can just imagine.
Yeah. Tony Young, thank you for that heart on Facebook. I appreciate it. We got 16 people on YouTube and 2 people on Facebook watching. So I appreciate you guys, whoever's here, whoever's in this. If you'd like to ask any questions, you have any comments, you have anything that you've been curious about or anything you'd like to see, just throw it out there. Let it be known. We are here to talk. Russell Soto said, program time in 6 minutes, suited and booted. AP said, like a chat room. You're talking about the app? No, I was thinking more like, watch out. Uh, we're talking about like, let's say,
AP, this isn't WhatsApp, okay? I know that
not
you're
not
on
the
WhatsApp.
not the party
I
line.
know that's not what we're doing here.
The WhatsApp. No, serio. My thoughts are so we're gonna pair up an at-risk kid with a mentor, maybe 2, right? So that they could always if there's something they need to talk about, if whatever it is. And I know that the obvious easy thing is just exchange phone numbers and he can call them and say, hey, this or whatever. But just so that it can be kept track of, and for any liability issues, no one can say that things were done that shouldn't have been done, just kind of like that. I mean, trying to keep it all above board. I'm thinking you do an app where the kid can hop on there and kind of text with whoever's been assigned as their mentor, um, and just be like, "Hey, man, I'm sitting in school. I'm not feeling too good. I've been thinking about my mom at home. My mom and dad are splitting up. Whatever it is that they want to talk about can kind of be done that way." And I think that way it goes through the app and ultimately we have I guess you can call it kind of control because again, if we're going to be hooking up adults with kids, we need to make sure that we're also protecting both sides in this. And I think, you know, one of the things that I've seen with nonprofits is they try to make sure that they keep that all above, you know, everything done through the nonprofit and not kind of off the books type thing. It's just a liability issue, kind of a protection issue. And so that's why I've been thinking that it's, I know it's crazy to think about, or you know, even, but it's just things that you have to think about when you're putting something like this together. Tony G said, Creeks, do you think AI will one day be our master? Hey, bro. Um, I don't know, man. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, they trick me, those videos, because I'm like, oh, look at this video. They
Yeah.
just saved this whale and this, and then it says AI something. I'm like, I hate you guys. And I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't real when there was like a cheetah on top of a dolphin or something, and they saved them in the ocean. And I'm like, how's a little cheetah cub or whatever that is in the? I'm like, wow, but they make it look so real, and I'm just like, I hate you. I
Yeah.
hate it.
But I don't know, bro. AI is getting smart. That's for damn sure. They're coming up with so much more. Man, it's great. You've seen that little Bigfoot or the Yeti Happy Father's Day thing I did. It's crazy. Just the way that the things you can do now. Burqueño said, is that an actual edible Happy Meal or just a virtual Happy Meal?
No, I will personally Uber Eats you a Happy Meal because, you know, some people didn't get them when they were little. Some people, you know, and I think that if they did, you know, maybe they wouldn't be 50 years old trying to still bang bang or trying to. I really think that they missed out on their childhood and their, you know, acting it out. That's all I can think of. But a lot of people need help, and I'm
They
here
do.
to help.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Javier said you have come a long way with your indigenous wife to back you up.
Oh wow. Really?
Thank you, brother. I have. It's been tough. Bueno, Lita, so you look funny with hair, Vato. I got long hair now, and I get carrilla by my homies that just get out trying to cut it off, you know. Yeah. I'm just lazy, bro. I can't grow it because it's too damn thick, bro. When I used to slick my hair back as a youngster, it was like a damn pompadour. So I don't like dealing with it. So I just shaved this shit.
I think if you let it grow, it'd be all right. I don't think your hair is as thick as it used to be. I think your hair is actually thinning because you're getting older. So I don't. I think you're a little too ahead of yourself. I think you need to calm down. I think it'll be okay if it grows out. You just got to try it.
See, anything that take shots.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, my hair is not what it used to be.
Oh, I know.
18.
I know.
Really? Really?
I see it.
No, you didn't.
Damn rat's nest up there.
Oh. What? Really? First tonight's dinner, and now this?
Oh, you did that.
Stop.
Shit. AP said, I'll take AI over Giovanna any day with her undocumented ass.
Oh, well, first of all.
Hey, they're fighting for her right now.
Who's they?
The migrant people.
They want you didn't just swim over here.
They want you to stay.
Oh,
Burqueño said, Güero, saludos, bro. I don't have it.
You have it right here.
No, this isn't going to work on your phone. This is for my thing. It's right there on the thing. Oh, I'm selfish. You plug this in your ass thing.
Plug it in yours first. What the heck?
What the hell?
You always have a charger over here. That's what I asked.
It's right there. Burqueño said, Güero, saludos, bro. AP said, but her tiempo is coming.
Wow.
AP said, in jail? Who's in jail? When you was a wild one, Giovanna. Johnny Chinga, so you're finally going to give Giovanna her papers to be legal?
No, I don't need my papers, sir. Nope. We've already been through this.
Yeah.
We've already gone through this.
We got the visa. the 90-day what is it called? 90-day fiance.
And I'm not your 90-day fiance.
She was my 23-year fiance.
Shut up.
R. Lopez said, "What? Married on the 13th? Isn't that a curse?" Congrats to you both.
Well, it's the day we met, so you know.
Yeah, that was the
just,
thing. June
we
13th was
have
our.
so many like anniversaries. Oh, the day we met. Oh, the day you got out. Oh, the second time you got out. Oh, the third time you got out. It's like, let's just pick the day that when we first met.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, this guy, he had so many dates and times and all that.
Yep. Lita said that. And this month, me and my wife are going to go 29 years together and putting up with me. Yeah, it's crazy, right? 29 years, bro.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Doesn't it go by quick? I know Giovanna and I have 23 years. 10 of those I've been out. And then, man, this 10 really flew by, huh?
Not for me. Feels like every moment. I feel it.
Well, yeah, you aged a little bit more, but I don't feel it as bad. So I guess AP said I say no. Russell Soto said Cricket turned in his handcuffs for wife cuffs. I know, right? AP says she don't need papers. Okay, so órale, congratulations, Mrs. Medrano.
Oh,
There you go.
It's hyphenated.
No, it's not.
I'm keeping my last name. Thank you very much.
Burqueño said, Chingas 100. Travis Drury, what's up, bro? It was scary, huh? LOL. Yeah. It was. When we went and got the license from the courthouse or from the place right there, the lady was asking us like, what took so long, and she was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna do the ceremony tonight," and like, she was all into it. But
we really couldn't tell her. Couldn't say, well, he's been gone for 13 years.
I did tell the lady she earned it though. So
yeah, he did say that. It was kind of embarrassing.
I said she earned it. So
you don't even know how to act. He doesn't.
Shit, Burqueño said Javier fist bump. What Lita said I got married on Friday the 13th. Yeah, us too. Javier said El Burqueño Cubo. Crusted, what's up, brother?
Oh, hey.
He said, Órale, Grillo. What's up, brother? Crusted, watch out. Tony G said, what's wonderful? Now they can no longer deport you, Jovan. Hip, hip, hooray.
They never could before. Thank you very much.
I don't know, bro. They're changing rules, man. He said even citizens can get deported.
Where'd you hear that?
Burqueño said, hey, actually, he's even trying to.
Did you hear it from his mouth?
Yeah, he's rescinding the Cubans thing. Burqueño said, crust. Lita said, just cubules, saludos. Ese. Right back at you, bro, for sure. Burqueño said, Burqueño. Crust said Burqueño. Is that what I said?
I don't know, man. You keep saying that over and over.
I'm reading, fool. AP said it's imperialism masked as helping people. Yeah, it's the unfortunate thing, bro. Like, it's almost come to the point where it's just too much, man. And honestly, when I hear, like, I don't know how many of you guys, like, when you look at, where they say, and it's not to denigrate the veterans. Obviously, they did, what they had to do, and they did it. They made the sacrifice. The problem, I think, with that is that they shouldn't have been asked to do those sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think most of those guerras that we've had, I don't think made things any better for us here at home. You know what I mean? Like they say, well, they fought for freedom, but it's never like we're never under attack. You know what I mean? The Japanese did at Pearl Harbor, but aside from that, like it's not like if they wouldn't have gone to war, we would have been, on some kind of thing. What?
Don't do that to the veterans.
I just said it's not denigrating the veterans. They're not the ones making the decisions to go to war. They're just doing what their country's asking them to do. But what I'm saying is it's unfortunate that they're being asked to do that. Because again, I don't think that in the end, I think the propaganda wins out where you're saying you're fighting for freedom and all that, where, I think our freedom is not under attack. Krusty said, Bueno, Lila, salute. Crust, spell check. Haha, spell check. He said, Johnny Chinga said, Burqueño, salute. Krusty said, Orale, P. Farmero, wacha. He said, okay, no politics, but just one jab at Jovan. Mrs. Pro deportation. What was that thing we used to say in school? It ended with liberty and justice for all.
What?
He's talking about the Pledge of Allegiance. What was that thing we used to say in school? It ended with liberty and justice for all.
What about it?
Pledge of Allegiance? Is that what you're talking about, bro? Javier said, if the United States hits Iraq...
Hold on, no, go back. I just remembered something. I saw your little comment on that little gorilla thing. No, that was not my reveal. Metal.
Jovan reveal.
No,
face reveal, he said. I guess if the United States hits Iraq from the rear, will Greece help out? It should. Krusty said, Johnny Chingas V23. Johnny said, Crustone. Captain Commenter said, sup? What's up? How you doing? Orale Farmero said, Crusted. Agent Orange said, Grillo. What's up, brother?
I didn't know who said it.
Tony Young said, I caught a live. What's up from DC? What's going on? How you doing? Cubo. Burqueño said, AO. Agent Orange. Burqueño said, Farmero. Eddie Valenzuela said, Cubo, any new videos? I'm actually working on one now. It's kind of a long one because people have been asking me to do something on Arizona, and they've been curious about the stuff that happened with Trigger and some of that. So I'm gonna do a few videos that lead up to that and explain that a little bit. So I'm kind of working on that. But it's taking me a little bit. You know how I do. I got so much on my plate right now, but I am gonna have something like that coming here pretty quickly. Tony G put the smileys. Krusty said, Giovanni Grillo, much love. Right back at you, bro.
Always, Christy.
Yes, obvious. Tony G said, tip of your nose. It was not a serious question. I figured it wasn't, bro. Güero Lira said, Farmero, saludos, vato, respect. You said, Tony, salute.
I have about the respect. You don't have to give them respect.
To Farmero?
He's all right, I guess.
Burkina said, I have 4 kids and I'm still not ready. LOL, shit.
Oh, okay.
Telling you, right? A-Town-ish said, hey, you gay. You gay. He's asking.
We are very happy, actually. Thank you very much.
But are you asking because you got a crush on me? Are you gay?
I think he likes you.
Listen, we don't judge here, bro. So
Pride Month.
Yeah, we don't judge here. So if you'd like to stay and have a conversation, I do not. I like women, and I don't. What is that called when you like see yourself as something else? What do they call that? Yeah, I don't identify as anything else but a man. But you're welcome to stay. Gay, straight, woman, trans. You're okay, A-Town. Stick around. Javier said, I'm not walking well yet. My pelvis is still hurting. I walk with a cane still. I'm still with La Gorda. She said she would give me more groceries.
Oh, Javier, Chella's getting married.
He said, esa gorda can grub.
You missed Chella the other day. He wasn't here when she was on.
That's funny. Farmero said, Jovan, just let her legal status show. What's for real? Americans use Messenger and Snapchat.
I don't use neither. But I know that your people use WhatsApp. Okay.
James Jaime Sanchez. What's up, Cricket? Why you never put my post up? You say one thing and do another. Post my page. I did put it. It's in the post, bro. I put it a long time ago. It doesn't stick around. They go through and then they gotta be put back up again. I posted that the day after I told you I was. I don't do things and not say things and do another.
Well, sometimes. So don't.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
I mean, get in line. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been together 23 years and we just got married. So I mean, you know what I mean?
We do procrastinate some.
He does just a little bit.
But if anybody would like to go see his page, it's I guess right here. Click on it. Farmero said El Primo Crust. Russell said you should video chat the interaction like you planned.
Interaction?
What interaction, bro? Russell? Javier said, hey, what's up with El Gordo? Is he close to having kids? Not yet, bro.
No, he's only 22, and we really hope he doesn't have any till he's close to 30.
Yeah, he's not.
But you know what? Not even close to 30. I want him to find the right person to be with.
Yeah. He's not really in a relationship right now. He's just kind of messing around with different people.
He's just dating.
Yeah, he's just dating Rucas and stuff. So it's probably not the best time, but hopefully he'll eventually he'll get there.
Yeah. I think he's just really focused on work right now and his car.
Yeah, he just got another new car.
He's talking about buying property, like a little house, and flipping it. His credit score is really good, and he's good at saving money. So he's got plans in the works, and hopefully everything will be lined up. And he's definitely on a better path than we were at his age, for sure. But I hope one day that I get to be a grandma. I really do.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
Hey, what's up with the Falmero said, órale, güero. Engineer said, my dad did not get us Happy Meals, but he did get us hot cakes and sausage patties. Oh, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Remember that, bro? When they used to when McDonald's used to do those in the styrofoam? Man. Nowadays, I don't even think that shit's real food anymore.
It's not.
It's crazy. Tony G said, Cricks, when you connect the kid with a mentor, make sure the mentor is not a diddler because that will destroy your positive intentions.
Oh, no,
like they have the Catholic Church.
Oh, not the Catholic Church.
I know, bro. And honestly, that's why the app situation, you know what I mean? Just to be able to have some type of control over that. And it's sad that it has to be that way because I know most people that want to mentor kids have good intentions, but you just have, I mean, whatever you do, you got to protect the kids, you know what I mean? And it's not meant to be disrespectful towards anybody or questioning or accusing, but whatever it is that's going to make the kids and the people involved comfortable is what you need to do, You're right. Well, Alita say yes, that's what's happened to my hair now. It's so thin, it was easy to train it back. Now it stays combed back. Does it really?
See, that's what would happen to him. But he's such in denial. And it's just sad because it's like, it's okay to be old. It's okay. Like, we're in our 40s. Just let it be. Enjoy life. Like, enjoy your thin hair. I mean,
I don't have thin hair.
It's thinning.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's not as thick as it used to be.
You don't even know.
I do know.
You don't know nothing.
Your little sides right here are kind of going in more.
Your face is going in
Oh
more.
my God.
How about that? Billy B23, what's up? He said, what up, everybody? And Janoran said, Burqueño, K1 visa. Is that the 90-day fiance one?
They would know. They would know.
Well, Lita says, so fast, bro. Where does time go? Them and Dispensa, congratulations to you and your wife. Hope you guys stay happy. Blessings to you guys. Yeah, it does go, bro. That time goes by fast. But yeah, me and Joelle, we cool, man. I don't know. Even if I don't like her, I'll still stay with her. Like, it's probably just better that way. She's just staring at me now.
I could leave. I took somebody else to be happy with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could go. I could go. You keep the kid.
Anybody?
I'm gone. You know.
Congrats on your wedding, said Billy B23. Thank you, brother. Kenny said, Billy, salute. There's AZ Diablo. What's up, brother?
Oh, hey.
He said, Cricket just said his hair was like Pony Boys from The Outsiders. Had to tap in real quick and send mine to both of you. Right back at you, brother.
Appreciate
Yes, sabes.
it. You know, thank you so much for the support on the other side of online. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
For coming through. I mean, I know a lot of us, you know, we don't hang out and we're in different states or we're too far away, but you know, when we do talk and we do get together, it feels like we do know each other and we are there for each other. So I appreciate that support, Easy. I've told you guys, I've been going through it with family and with friends and with just people, and you know, you disagree with somebody and they just want to cut you out of their life, which is fine. But I'm gonna stand on what I believe in and what I think and what I feel. And you know, and then the other part of it is, you know, the family part. I have to let go of some family members because I just I feel like if I can't tell them how I really feel and they get mad, then I don't need them in my life.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, you know, sticking up for kids. So I care more for the kids than I do the parents. I don't care if I lose them. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, but life will take you in different directions sometimes.
Yeah, and I just have, you know, people that I've been friends with since like 2007, 2000, you know, 2, since Mijo was born. And, you know, of course, politics gets in the middle of it. And I just say, well, you have your beliefs. I have my beliefs. You don't have to try to change my mind. I don't have to try to change yours. But if I am on my Instagram, on my thing, I'll post what I want when I want. I'm not going to message the other person and say, hey, you should think this, and hey, what's wrong with you? I'm not going to try to change their mind. It's made up.
Yeah.
But when I have something to say on my page and you don't like it and you want to end a friendship because of it, then go ahead. And I'm not just talking to talk. Like you know, like last live, I've been a victim of identity theft and things like that. I've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I know that people, I've gotten messages like, how do you not feel bad for these, you know, pictures? And it's a bunch of guys getting arrested at the warehouses or on construction sites. I know they're not murderers. I know they're not drug dealers. I know that they want to come here and I know that they want to work to feed their family. But they're working off my social and they screwed me over 10 times. A guy, we were on the freeway, he was drunk driving and hit our car. And then he ran. And then we told him, don't run. Like, we'll help you. Just pay for our car and we won't call the cops. He was illegal. And then our insurance goes up and then we had to pay for the damages. So I can speak from experience that, you know, like I'm sorry, I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like you got to do things the right way. Manuel's mom did it the right way. His aunt did it the right way. A lot of his family members did. I have friends that waited for almost 15 years to do it, 10 years to do it. I'm sorry, but you can't do it off of my back. You can't. I've had to pay taxes. I've almost got my insurance taken away. I was a single mom at the time, me and Mijo. And I had to deal with all of this. And it gets tiring. So I get it. And, you know, people are, oh, who's going to pick your vegetables? Who's going to pick your fruits? And I don't know. And I don't care. I'm sorry. I hate to have that attitude. But they're not going to do it while using my social. They're just not. They can't. Got to figure another way out. So I'm sorry if I'm not all for that. And I don't, you know, it just is what it is. And lately I've been losing friendships over it. And I get it. They don't have to understand it. But the facts are there. I've gone through it.
Yep. Russell said, wife going to be mad at cricket marriage license is a Pete's menu. Right? Damn, that's what we should get. Imagine, get your wedding like catered from Pete's.
No.
The sauce, at least.
Issues.
You don't even care about me.
Yes, I do. Pete,
It's my fucking wedding marriage too.
you don't care about that stuff. But don't even start acting like you do.
I want peace. I care about
Well,
that.
you're not going to get it.
Burkina said that's crazy because the majority of Cubanos voted for him too. Yeah, a lot of them are Republicans, bro. Well, because of that, yeah, it's crazy. Billy B23 said Burqueño. Javier said Trump need to stick one finger up his ass and another in his ear, then fart. Maybe the vibration will go to the brain.
Oh,
Tony G said the true reason for Gulf War II was not weapons of mass destruction. It was personal because Hussein tried killing Bush Jr.'s father, Bush Sr. Yeah, I've heard that one too. I mean, listen, but again, it's just a lot of the reasons are just never really the truth. You know what I mean? Regardless of of what it is, in the end, I think we can all agree it's usually not for freedom, for our freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like in the end, and I know that they'll say, well, you know, the Lego theory, and it could lead to this and lead to that, and but I mean, again, that's just propaganda, I think. Tony G said, what was I heard? We having a Jovan face reveal?
no, it's not that.
I'm starting to think Trump gonna screw us all over.
I don't
No
think
LB.
so.
I think he'll be. This shit's gonna pass, bro. It's gonna pass like every other time and every other one. You know what I mean? Like 4 years ain't long enough for nothing. It's, in the end, I mean, everyone's feeling what they're feeling, whoever it is, and in the end, it's gonna go. You know, it'll be the next guy doing whatever the other half doesn't like. You know, or this. Either way, you know, it's always something. Noel B said, "Good evening, Cricket and Jovan. What's up, brother? How you doing?"
Hey,
Noel. Javier said, "Órale, vato. Thought Cricket was doing another vato crickets. Doing other vato crickets."
oh, no. Yeah.
Javier said, "I'm using Tres Flores again, or
Oh,
el moco de gorila."
no. Why?
Shit.
You don't have like just gel or mousse,
Right?
some hairspray.
I
That's the smell.
I like
It
the
doesn't even-
smell.
I don't like the smell.
Tres Flores?
Ugh.
I do. I just don't like putting it on anymore because, well, I haven't done it in so many damn years. But what I do remember is just the greasiness, bro. Like I remember I used to lay on the couch, my jefita would get so mad because the like arm of it would get all greasy and shit, and my pillows.
Why didn't you just wear gel if you wanted your hair to go back?
Because that wasn't from fucking Saved by the Bell.
Why? My brother was Mexican and he put gel on his hair and he blow dried it back.
Your brother's a different type of Mexican.
You're stupid. Leave my brother alone. He has kids. How dare you?
Lamont George said, grab the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit.
Who's Lamar Jackson?
I don't know what that means, bro. But okay. Bubba Ganoush said, good evening, Cricket. You will Hub City. Tony said 310. There you go. Guadalita said, then that happened to us, same thing, but the paisa got away. The cop didn't want to chase him. Crazy.
Yeah. This guy, we were on the freeway, and luckily we got out of the car. And he was just drunk. I mean, he had beer in the front seat.
He had a fucking cooler full of beer.
I mean, he was just drunk. Hit our car, and then we're trying to negotiate with him, and then he was like, tried to do a little sneaky thing, and he ran. He started running, and Manuel chased him and caught him, and then the security guard at one of the banks that was there at night was like, "What's going on here?" And the cops came, and it's like,
well, the security guard at the bank was a cop, but yeah, he hit we got out of the Ramfla because it had broke down on the freeway actually, and I was like, "Get out of the car! We're gonna get hit." I could tell a lot of people weren't noticing we were there, even though we had our flashers and everything going. I could see like people were like last minute changing lanes. So I told her, and it was me, her, and her brother in the car. I was like, let's get out. So we all got out. And we're kind of standing on the side, and we're flashing people with flashlights. Everything was good, but of course, this fool was drunk. So he came head on, he hit the car at like 50 miles an hour, probably faster. And yeah, he had a cooler full of beer next to him. But I asked him, I'm like, you know, do you got insurance? Are you illegal? And he's like, no, I don't got insurance. I'm illegal. And I'm like, all right, we won't call the cops. Let's just trade, number. Just fix the car. Just pay me for the rampla, and we don't even have to call the cops. And he's kind of acting like he's agreeing, but he's on the phone talking, and he's trying to walk away. And our horn was going from the impact, or his horn was going from the impact. So he's acting like he needed to walk away some because the horn was too loud and he couldn't hear the people. And I'm like, hey, bro, don't try to run, man. Come on. Like, we're not even going to call the placas. I just want my shit fixed. Like, I don't care. I'm not trying to get you arrested. You're drunk. And I'm not tripping on that. Let's just fix my car and we're okay. And he took he
started running.
yeah, he hopped over the little, it was kind of like we're on an overpass, and there was like I don't know what you call it, kind of like a curved exit, and he jumped the wall and took off running. So I jumped the wall and chased his ass. And then when we got close to the bank, the cop seen what was going. The cop came out and pulled his gun on us and like made us both stop and shit. And then he got him and he laid him on the ground. And another cop pulled up whose wife was driving. He was off duty, but he saw what happened and he pulled up right behind us. And anyway, but yeah, and the dude didn't have insurance. He didn't have my insurance, had to cover everything, obviously, and dude got arrested.
Our car was totaled. We had to worry about how to get to work and everything, and of course it becomes our problem because of that type of situation.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and we could have worked it out with him. I don't know why he ran. I mean, I told him we didn't have to call. I didn't want to involve the placas or nothing. I didn't care as long as we could just work out the deal. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It was probably better they got involved because he probably wouldn't have done, he would have lied anyway that night and I wouldn't have got paid anyway. So, Burkini said, every time I go to renew my license and my hazmat, I have major problems because of my identity. I pray every time they don't deny me.
Isn't that sad?
That's
and
crazy.
Again, I get it. I feel bad, but I can't feel bad. And it's like I do and I don't, and it's like I'm in between. But then at the same time, when I think of everything that I went through, and people, like Burkini have to go through that craziness, it's not fair. I get it. You escape something, you want to get away, you want to come here and make money for you and your kids, but you don't get to do it by stepping on someone else. And that is stepping on someone else, and it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Why do I have to suffer because you were born?
I mean, the thing is, you can't help but to feel bad. Like you don't want anybody to have to have to struggle and shit. But at the same time,
my number,
at the same time, what's fair is fair. We couldn't go to any other country and do it, and so why should we just leave ourselves open to it? And I know that sounds harsh, and people are going to say, you're the raza and this and that, but it's not even about the raza. A lot of them aren't even from Mexico. Like, that's just another misnomer. You know what I mean? They're from everywhere.
And if it's about the people, then don't use my number. Go use a different race's number. Why are you using mine?
Well, it's just, I don't know. I think there's just another way to do it. And does it take a long time? Is it hard? Yeah. I remember I saw my mom, my abuelita did it. My tia did it. A lot of them. I've seen them have to go through it. It was hard. It took time, but fuck, they did it. Tony Tapia said, oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Dispensa Javier said, don't let go of family members. They go away and then it's too late. The older I get, the more I lose old friends and family. You can pick your friends, but not your family. I miss a lot of people lately.
I understand that, but because you're family, that doesn't give you the right to act any kind of way. And because you're family, you should actually treat me better and you should act better. But a lot of the family that I'm having some issues with, it's these grown adults that are not taking responsibility for their kids. So when I call them deadbeats, when I say that they're abusive, when I say that they're neglecting their children, they don't like to hear that.
Yeah.
And I see their children and they're my little cousins, or just, second, third cousins, whatever. And I feel bad for them because they don't have clothes or food, or they have food, but they eat really bad, or they just don't have the clothes that they need or the education that they need, and their parent is just a straight deadbeat.
See, part of the problem is what we do with what we talk about here. We also live it. Like, we have family members that have kids that are who we are targeting here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who we talk about.
Yeah, the at-risk kids. And so when we try to speak up for them, or we want to take them shopping and get them everything they need, and we want to be the, the saviors, right? Come in and help and all that. Then we're the bad guys, and we're judgmental and all this. But if we're gonna call it out on strangers, we have to call it out on our own too. You know what I mean? Like, it just has to be that way. Every kid is important and needs to have somebody to protect them. And just because it's a family member's kid, it doesn't give that person a pass. We got to speak up with what we believe in now, because we see what it leads to. You know what I mean? I couldn't, in good conscience, not say something if I see someone, a kid, on the path to what I went through, and what a lot of you guys went through, and a lot of kids are going through. And just because it's some family member, like, that don't give them no fucking pass. That's even worse, I think, to be honest. Tony Tapia said, "You don't understand, lady." No.
Then help me understand. What don't I understand?
That's not an argument, Tony. If you have something to debate, if you have a point to make, by all means, brother. We anyone can speak their minds here. We're not here to shut anybody down. Everyone has their opinions, and even Joanne and I don't agree on everything. We have separate minds and opinions as well. But as far
as, need a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
what don't I understand?
Yeah, there just needs to be. I mean, if you want to have a dialogue, here we are, brother. That's what we're here for. But if you just want to talk down to somebody, then there's no way to talk. I mean, there's nothing we can do to change her mind, and we're not going to try to change her mind. Nothing will. You're not going to change hers, and she's not going to change yours. To be honest, Robert Ortiz said, "Send them all back."
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if we should be that harsh either. I think Jovan might agree with you. Would you?
What?
Send them all back?
No, I think there's different cases that need to be looked into.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
I'm with you on that.
I don't believe just send everybody. No, it's like we need to see case by case and see what's going on.
I agree there.
But if you do come here and you are doing, even if you're not killing or selling drugs, stealing somebody else's social security, or even if you bought it and using it, that is you're illegal, and you're committing a crime, and you don't even know who you're doing it to. And you're doing it to your own people, supposedly, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think every case is different. I think, they really need to look into it and go from there. But I know I'm not that harsh to say, send everyone back. And, not that mean.
Mark Gonzaga said, "I don't feel bad. Those paisas tried to kill Cricket." They did.
They did.
Fuckers.
Your own people.
Fucking. You're right. Send them all back. Nah. That was a different type of paisa, bro. Prison wars is different, I think.
Oh my God.
Agent Orange said, "Question: So government is not allowed to film protesters or document protesters. How are body cams going to be usable? You mean usable? Or is that what they're saying? They can't film protesters or document protesters? I didn't know that. Is that something that's being said right now? I haven't heard that, brother. I don't think that would. I don't know how can you enforce that unless it's just like a thing to placate, but you can't enforce that. If you're in public, you could be filmed, right? Burqueño said soul glow.
Right?
Yeah. Congrats to y'all, and I'm good, said Noel B. Good, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hub City Tony said, even though you told the Paisa not to worry, people get scared because nowadays it's hard to trust someone. Yeah, and I know that, bro, but I'm standing right in front of them, telling them, like, let's not call the cops. It was an accident. We're both right there. And I'm like, hey, bro, are you drunk? That's the first thing I asked him. Have you been drinking? And he's like, yeah. I go, okay, let's not call the cops. Like, I got my phone in my hand. He has his phone in his hand. I'm like, let's not call the cops. I don't want you to get arrested. Let's just work this shit out. And I wasn't dialing the phone. It's like, I mean, I didn't have to do that. I could have said, okay, we're calling the cops. You're busted. You're in trouble, guy, and all that bullshit. That wasn't the case. So, but I get it. I know that it's hard to trust, but fuck, you got to trust something. You know what I mean? Running isn't going to solve the issue because you're going to get caught more than likely. You live in your car. His car was right there. He left his car there.
Yeah, he just left his whole car there.
Yeah, his car was beat. I mean, he couldn't drive it. The thing was fucked, but it was his car. So I don't know. It was just I get what you're saying though. Yeah, I'm sure. It is hard to trust, but if you see the man in front of you, at least most people aren't going to tell you that. Hey, are you drunk? I won't call the cops. I mean, if someone tells you that, then it's probably best at least take the chance. You know what I mean? I would. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. And if he lies, then I'll be like, oh, you fucking liar. But either way, like, you're fucked. If you don't take the chance, you're fucked. If you do take the chance, then maybe 50-50 chance. I don't know. But yeah, I hear it. Death Row said, shout out, everybody. Good night. Enjoyable Taco Tuesday.
Oh, jeez. Taco Tuesday.
There you go.
Well, we had something better than tacos tonight. We had steak, rice, and potatoes.
Yeah.
With the tortilla.
Yeah. Palmero said, people seem to forget the principles this country was built on, though we made ourselves the go-to for people fleeing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know if that's true. I get it. Like, if you mean we made ourselves the go-to people because it's a great place, like you can accomplish a lot here, then yes. But on the other side of that, this is not a new argument. Immigration has been on the table for years and years. They already did one amnesty in the 80s where they, just gave amnesty to a whole bunch of them. And so it's not like this is surprising that the United States is all of a sudden shutting their doors to them. You know what I mean? Like, this has been ongoing for 40, 50 years. So basically everybody that's come here after, if you say the mid 70s or early 80s, they knew very well what they're walking into. They're walking into a place that really doesn't want them here illegally. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's the greatest, you could accomplish so much. The money is here, there's jobs. So yes, it's an appealing place. And of course people would want to be here, but I don't think that it's ever been very, I don't know, like it never had an open door policy just saying, hey, come here, and then all of a sudden now they're just being assholes.
And Edward Biden, come on in.
It's been, this has been an argument or on the table issue for many, many, many years, Death Row says, shout out California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Safe journey, everybody.
Oh, nice.
You will. And what Alita said, everybody. Everybody, brother. Not laughing at you, Death Row, he said. Palmetto said, exactly, Jovan. Every case deserves due process, and that's why the No Kings protests happen.
And I get it, but I think that it's just, I know it's wrong, and I get it and everything, and I think it's just anytime Trump does something, it just people, I mean, he could breathe wrong and people don't like it. With Bill Clinton, there was 12.3 million. With Bush, there was 9 million. With Obama, there was 4 million. With Trump, there's like 1 million, but it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, but again, and we talked about this the other night. I think just because it was okay or not okay with someone else, it doesn't.
No, just because they did it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah,
But I'm saying his is 1.2 million or something. Theirs is like 9 million, 12 million. And it's like, I don't remember this when Obama was president. I remember, like, I was here, you know what I mean? I don't remember people getting so crazy and everything out of control. And he deported more immigrants than any other president.
yeah.
Are we not forgetting any of that?
I
I don't
think.
know where
I
the
think.
anger is not. Like, where's it at? I worked at the restaurant and all the cooks were like, yes, he won. He's going to give us our citizenship. They didn't give him anything. Nothing. You know what I mean? And if anything, they were more worried after that. And I'm just like,
I think again, like I told you the other day, though, I think part of the problem is the rhetoric, the way he talks.
it is. It is.
And
It
that
is.
I think.
mean, and I'm not agreeing with that. I wish he would just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up and just do what you need to do. But he has an ego. But just
Yeah.
because he talks like that doesn't make him completely dangerous. Biden doesn't talk crazy like that, or Obama. They're dangerous. They're scary. Hillary's scary to me. Just because they don't talk like that. Yeah, I do wish he would shut up, and it doesn't make it okay. But it's like, I mean, he can't even breathe because of, oh my God, he might be.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because he's already poked the bear, though. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not all the way. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, oh my God, please stop talking. Please just shut up. You're doing okay. Just stop talking. So yeah, of course, I don't agree with everything he does and say too, but I mean at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, you know what I mean?
Agent Orange said it's been law, and that's the bottom line. To be honest, again, like this isn't surprising. You know, is it in your face now? Yes, but it's not surprising. I mean, this happens every time. To be honest, every time there's a Republican president in there, this is what happens. You know, Javier said, my younger nephews and nieces are not involved with the barrio. We already lost a few things, are getting better.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the old ways are ending too. I don't think that, at least I don't know. Califas may be a little different, and I'm sure it is different. In Arizona, bro, the gang stuff has really been tempered. It's not like it was in the 90s. You still got a little bit here going on, but it's not what it was in the 90s. You don't go through neighborhoods anymore and see hit ups all over the walls. You don't hear about it like you did back then. Um, Back then it was. I mean, there was straight barrio wars. You know what I mean? There was stuff going on here that was a trip, but it's not what it was anymore. I mean, you got stupid kids all the time, but gangs like that.
I think a lot of the problems that we've been seeing with kids lately, it's that they're not in a bad neighborhood. They're not. I know a lot of kids that are not in my family. They live in good neighborhoods. Their parent is just neglectful.
Yeah, and so they're looking for something.
Their parent is not stepping up. So they're not in a bad neighborhood, and they wouldn't even know where to go look to be a gang member. The problem is they're falling behind in school. They're not getting the nutrition that they need because all they eat is junk food. Junk food. That's what the mom is just like, here, shut up, have your tablet, have your chips, and be quiet and call it a day. And I'm seeing all that, and I'm like, you are the people I talk about. You are the people that we are against, and it's hurtful to see it. And so when I say that, they don't like to hear the truth, and so it's just easier to stop talking to me than actually fix the problem,
Yeah.
because I care about the kid more than I do them. So I feel like I have to. And if it ends that relationship, fine. At least I said something. Hopefully the kid one day will remember it and, go from there.
Yeah. Big motherfuckers in the house. What's up, brother? He said, "You roll." Agent Orange said a few years back, FBI was caught filming from private jets that were outfitted with high-powered cameras during Floyd protests. Oh, were they? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that would accomplish. I mean, for what reason, I wonder? Just to keep tabs on it? That's spending a lot of money for something that doesn't seem that it would be like productive. I mean, what can you do? You can't charge them with anything. I mean, unless they're actually looting and shit, I guess. But Death Row said it's all that coming homegrown terrorist. Yeah, some of them. Big motherfuckers said dumbass protesters thought they were protesting an ICE raid in their neighborhood. It turned out to be a drug raid.
Oh my god.
Hey, you see, they went to the Santa Fe what's it the swap meet where all the dancers are, the feed me dancers.
Oh Lord.
Lita said I had the paisa in a headlock, but my lady was crying about it. Let him go, so I did, and he ran. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to tell your lady, bro. Don't get involved in stuff like that. Jovan does that too, man. If I get mad at somebody, man, stop, don't. Sometimes you don't need to hear that type of shit.
Okay, well, don't tell him that. They'll do what they want in their relationship. And I'm gonna keep telling you, Dan, stop. Dan.
Man, you think they're gonna back you, and they're the ones sitting there yelling at you to stop.
Well, because I think of it as like I don't want to die over this. Like it's not worth it. Do you know what I'm saying? I can get another car. I don't want to lose my life. We don't know if this guy had a gun or a knife or something. You know what I mean? It'd be foolish over a car or something like that.
Tetro said, "Viva Braceros." Porqueño said, "Big motherfucker, 100." Hub City Tony says, "Sometimes adrenaline and alcohol makes you do dumb decisions, and the paisa was scared. He wasn't thinking right. I'm guessing it happens to everyone." Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I'm going to another country illegally. One, I'm not going to have kids because I know that I'm there illegally, and what are my chances? I don't want to have kids and be separated. Like, you got to think, okay? And two, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm not going to go get drunk and get in, behind some car and go smash into somebody and then run. Like, how irresponsible is that? This is a whole grown adult. He knows what he was doing.
Yeah. Big motherfucker said, "Cuba Burqueño." Javier said, "People should fear the Americans who are consuming dope more than a hardworking Mexican. If you commit crimes and deport, Trump is racist straight up."
Well,
Farmero said, "Every president you stated was in office 8 years, Jovan. Trump has been in office 4.5. There's a huge difference."
yeah, 4.5, and I don't think it's going to get up to 12 million. And you guys don't forget about the little cages where they're putting people in and all that. He didn't do that. Just saying.
Farmero said, "Also, that's what caused so much distortion. People on one side will point out everything Trump does, and the other make excuses. At the end of the day, we all need to stand for what's right."
I don't agree with everything he says or everything that he does. I don't agree with a lot of when it comes to my religion, politics. I can't agree 100%. That would be insane of me. That's crazy to think that. Just like I always say, you're like, oh, I say I'm Catholic, but like 60% Catholic or 70, because I don't believe in it 100%. I just don't. It's scary to be all the way one way. There's just no way. I don't think like that. I do have an open mind. I do try to take it in, but I have been on that side of the fence. I've had these people come here illegally and take my number and use my social, hit my car. But then I've been on the other end of it. I rented a house for a lady that didn't have her papers for her and her child. I put it in my name. I filled out the app. I helped her do everything. I lied and put everything in my name for it. So
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of it.
She was living in her car, so we felt bad for her.
I've done a lot. So it's like, but you don't get to use my number and ruin my credit, ruin my insurance, my taxes. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for you at that point. I just don't.
Farmero said the issue, Grillo, is that 70% of those deported were here legally with no criminal record and were deported with no due process. Everyone agrees immigration is an issue, but the law is the law. I'd have to see. I not that I doubt what you're saying, but I'd have to see where you're getting that. 70% deported were here legally. I don't know, bro. So you're saying only 30% of the people that are being deported are here illegally? I don't know, brother. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look at that and see why exactly, and what, because to deport someone that's here legally, how can they legally do that? Eddie Valenzuela said, "My bad, bro. You have any new videos?" So yeah, I said it a little bit ago. You might have took off for a little bit, but Simon, I'm working on one. I'm working on some right now that are gonna entail the Arizona stuff, going into the whole thing with Trigger and all that. Farmero said, "Every time Javon talks, Grillo looks so scared. Blink twice if you need help, bro." Tetro said, "Los
Trust
Angeles."
me, he's not scared. He yaps his mouth. Trust me.
Los Angeles MS-13 gangbangers calling them homegrown terrorists will see coming. Mark Gonzaga said, "All I have to say is Biden is a KKK member and the Democrat Party is the party of the racist KKK."
Well, I didn't know that. I'm just kidding. I don't believe that.
Lita said, "They're always going to butt in them. It can't leave with them, can't leave without, can't live with them, can't live without them." Yeah, I know, right? True. Burkina says, "It's all about dope and money now. I think they realize fighting over a city block doesn't make money. The gangs died down a lot here in the last 10 years. The prison gangs are still alive and well." Yeah, I think the prison gang thing, I think, is always going to be an issue just because it's that pack mentality, and they're in an environment where it almost breeds an us versus them type of
There's always
thing,
going to be some type of gang in there, right?
Yeah, in the joint.
I think like we drove by my old neighborhood last week, and there's nothing around there. There's like no gang writing on the walls. I mean, there's none of that. I mean, the street is totally ran down. I mean, it's just crazy. Like I didn't even recognize my old house. Like we had to pass by there like 4 times because the whole block is just ran down. I mean, I couldn't recognize it, but I didn't see like any gang activity. There was nothing written on the walls. So I mean, it's definitely not there like it used to be for sure. But again, a lot of these kids, they don't have to be in a gang and they don't have to be in a bad neighborhood to not still need help. A lot of them still need help. They live in good neighborhoods. It's just their parents that are not being the parent that they should be for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we went through a lot. So we're driving. We went through Hollywood, through Wedgwood, through Westside Chicanos. We went through all them neighborhoods right there, and I didn't see not one hit up. And those neighborhoods used to be full.
Yeah, especially in like the 2000s,
90s.
90s.
Yeah, the 90s was. I mean, I wasn't out here for the 2000s, but I know for sure the 90s, those neighborhoods were full. Let me see, where are we at? Palomero said those are numbers released by Republicans. They're rating jobs and court visits. What they do is go in and reverse a previously approved status and reverse it.
Reverse, like
I did see that there was something like that, but it wasn't necessarily just revert. Not that I'm agreeing with why they did it, but there was like an individual that went in. One of the examples was he was going to his court date and he didn't realize that he hadn't, after his 2-year visa, he hadn't put in, I guess he had to put in a motion to remove your visa restrictions, and he hadn't done that. I guess he said he didn't know he was supposed to. So when he went in for his next hearing, they arrested him. And what they're saying is before all this, if you forgot something like that, then they would let you know. Like ICE would say, "Hey, you missed your date. You need to get that taken care of." And now instead of doing that, they're arresting people. And what they're saying is it's in their policy to do either one. I mean, again, it comes up to discretion. It's an arrestable offense, but they didn't used to arrest you for it. And so that's the debate as well. This is just an administration that is gonna push for it to be more for it to be stricter, but they're the rules that are on the books to be enforced if they want to. And they're just doing it now. They're just being stricter about it. Kenny said, my documents were stolen when me and my wife were homeless. We came back to our locker and our shit was gone.
What?
Yeah, see, and I think Jovan's got when I got arrested, when they indicted us and they raided the house and stuff, they put Jovan's name and social in all the police reports.
Mm-hmm.
And I
They
think
usually black it out.
sometimes it depends.
Right?
Usually it depends, but I think that's how hers got out there, because shortly thereafter is when her stuff started getting used. And I remember what we used to do. One of the big things we used to do in the county jail was we'd get blow up lines. And I don't know how many people know about that type of stuff, but what we would do is if you came in for a murder, right? You came into the joint, you came to the county jail for a muerte, you usually had the victim's name and social in your paperwork. So we would get that name and social of the individual that's already passed away, and we would open a phone line with AT&T with that name and social, a landline, and then we would blow it up. We call it blow up lines. We'd call collect for about a month and a half. You open it, it costs about $100 to turn it on, and then you can call for about a month and a half before they send the first bill. And
I think it would run up to a little over $1,000.
More than that. Like, yeah, there was some $2-3 grand, just depending how many times they called. I mean, if you handed that number out and everybody was using it for 3 ways and everything, it can go up to $2,000-3,000. And then they'd send that first bill up after about a month and a half. You just don't pay it. They close it, but it's on an individual that's passed away's credit, so. And we would just do, then you just open another one and then another one. And we'd open 3 or 4 at a time. And that was one of the big things that, it's all you needed to open a phone line was a name and social. And so I know that's one of the ways that the info gets out there is through police reports. I'm sure they've since then, maybe they black the stuff out a lot more often now than they used to, but Meadow said, I said reverse twice. The gummies are kicking in.
Oh, good.
Hub City Tony.
Just chill now. Take another one.
My dad has been here since 1975 and he just got his green card. It's not easy to be here legally. This system is messed up. Yeah, I don't know what it takes, to be honest. My jefita's been here since 77, I think, or 76. But she got hers not long after. She got married, so she got hers. And then my abuelita, I don't know how my grandma got it, because my grandma didn't even speak English, and neither my tia, her sister, also got her citizenship, and they didn't speak English. But I don't remember. I was too young to know the process. And then I have another tia that's my mom's sister. She came out here when she was 8, and she got hers. But again, I know she got married, but I don't think she had to wait for that. She got it some other way.
I think if you get married,
if you get married, you get one, you can get it, but there's still a process, but you can get it. If your kid joins the military, the parents can get it. There's different ways, and if just to get it directly though, I think is the harder and longer wait. You know what I mean? It's like,
because I know people that have gotten married and they got it within 10 years.
Yeah, it might be even before that, 3-4 years probably, or something. I think it depends. So my mom just got married. I don't know if I told all you guys. She just got married a while back. Her vato has a visa. He's here in the country legally. He has a visa. But now that he's married, if he wanted to go for citizenship, he has to give up the visa, which means he can't go back and forth to Mexico. and he doesn't want to do that because he has kids in Mexico. And so you have to give up the visa, stay here in the United States for whatever amount of years it is, 2 years, I think. And then you can put in for the next step or something. I'm not sure. Whatever it takes after that, but for sure I know he doesn't want to do it now because he doesn't want to not be able to go back and forth and see his kids right now. So he's gonna go ahead and just stick with the visa for now. But I don't know. I know there's different ways. I just don't know exactly the ways and the time limits and all that stuff. Hope City says some people don't want to wait years so they can get approved to be here legally. We need to eat and work. I hear you, bro. But here's the thing.
But not off of Jovan's Social Security.
Well, and not just that, bro. But not just that, but it should be fair. Like, how come we can't? If I go to Mexico, brother, they wouldn't let me work over there. You know what I mean? I can't.
Can't just take somebody's identity over there and work just
Yeah,
because.
I can't just say I need to eat and work and they're going to be okay with it. I would be arrested and deported from Mexico. I mean, that's the only thing I'm saying. Like, what's fair is fair, and I get it. It sucks. It's hard. It's tough. It's all this. All the words you want to use, but at the end of the day, why is it okay for everybody else to have these immigration laws, but not for the United States? Just because we're the melting pot and all this other stuff, but where does it end? I mean, there has to be a legal way so that we can make sure that things are being done the right way. And I'm not saying done the right way because, it's not a frivolous ask. You know what I'm saying? Like Jovan said, if they're using someone else's social and all that, first of all, they mess with that person's life. Number two, they're having kids in hospitals and someone has to pay for that. They don't have the insurance. They're not paying into the taxes the right way. Some of them get paid under the table. Some are paying into a whole nother tax system. Like there's all these things that are going on that aren't the way it should be. And that's the only question that, how do we make sure that all of that is done and it's fair? You know what I mean? I'm not saying they shouldn't be here or shouldn't have a way to be here. I'm just saying make it fair. If I can't go to Mexico and do it, then why are we saying it should be done here? And that's every country. Every country has an immigration laws. And
I'm lucky that they just used my number to work and that it was only $700 that I had to pay and eventually get back. But I know people that really had identity theft. I mean, their credit was messed up. They couldn't even get married because of all the things that were going on. Couldn't buy a house. And they were born and raised here, and their families were born and raised here. And it's like, what are they doing to me? Why are they doing this? And I'm like, I know it sucks. Like, luckily, I got the lower end of it, but it still wasn't okay. I was a single mother out here working.
Yeah.
Almost got my health insurance taken away, and then I was, on the bus walking, had to get a ride or whatever. I had to find a ride to IRS to get this taken care of. It was a mess. And I get it because the guy wants to eat and feed his family. But he doesn't get to do it off of my back. You don't get to do that to people. You don't get to use their social. I don't care if you pay $500 for it. This is my social. This is my life. You're committing a crime. You don't get to do that. I don't care if you're the nicest guy in the world. And somebody else give them your number, but you don't get to do it with mine. You just don't.
Yeah. And you know what I did see? I saw a guy from Mexico. I think he was from Tijuana. He went to the border. He filmed. I think you could probably look it up. It's a video of a guy in Mexico and he goes, "I'm over here in Mexico. I was born in Mexico." He goes, "And all of you guys in the United States, the Chicanos and the Gringos." This is what he's saying, right? He's like, you guys are out there denigrating our flag. He's talking about the Mexican flag. He said, in Mexico, the Constitution says you're not allowed to use the flag in certain ways. I don't know exactly what he's talking about because I don't know the Constitution. But he was saying stuff like that. Then he was saying, if you guys really care so much, then why don't all you guys bring the dollar and come help us over here in Mexico? Come make Mexico better since you like it so much, or it was a trip to see a dude from Mexico saying, and he was speaking English. It was a trip, but he said he was born and raised in Mexico, and he's by kind of like the border fence, and he's talking like that. But I don't know. I think everybody has. I mean, I don't know, man. It's such everybody has a point, and you can almost agree with one, and then you hear another one and you're like, fuck, I agree with that too, and then another one. Like it's tough. It's tough to it's not an easy, there's no easy solution. I don't think. I think in the end the solution is going to be hard one way or another. You know what I mean?
No, in the end, you don't use somebody else's identity
Well, that's what I
to
mean.
get
It's
off on yourselves. Like, period. I again, I get the situation, but still, you don't get to do that. You just don't.
Well, Lita said, yes, gracias, Cricket. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, Johan, and I hear you that, but let me ask you this. What about a person that's not using someone else's identity, that's getting paid under the table?
Then shame on the company because they're not even paying them the full price that they should
Okay,
be getting paid for.
but do you think that those people should be sent back? I'm just trying to say, because
If
some
they-
people
if
are
they're
going to
not-
tell you, you're right about that, but there's a lot of people that are getting paid under the table and they're not breaking the law by using someone's identity.
They're just here working, and the owner, yeah, that's fine.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't.
I think that's fine as long as they're not breaking the law.
See, I don't, because then they're not.
And if they're putting in to do their paperwork, and they're here.
Well, they can't put in because they're here illegally. You can't just come here illegally and then start putting in the paperwork. They're going to tell you go back to Mexico and put in the paperwork. That's not how it works.
No.
Right now, they'll actually pay you to go back to Mexico and not arrest you. If you go and you turn yourself in and go back, they will give you, I think it's $1,000 is what they're offering right now to send you back.
Yeah.
But what my thing is with that is if they're doing it under the table, they're not paying taxes. So everything they're benefiting from is still off of our backs. If they go have a child in the hospital and it costs $80,000, now we could talk about healthcare again. That's another thing to talk about. But regardless, right now to have a kid in the hospital is going to cost $50,000 or whatever. Who pays that? The taxpayers?
Yeah.
Because
No,
and who are the taxpayers?
Again, it is a tricky situation,
It's
but
a
at
tough.
the same time, just don't use my number. Just don't use my number, please.
Yeah, that's
Please
what I'm
leave
saying.
Daniel's number alone, please. We've been through enough, you guys. Please. Like, I know they have their struggles, but god dang it, I've had mine too. Okay, like, don't use my number.
Bueno, Lira, seguidas, gracias, Cricket. That
Use
was
Farmero's number, okay?
that's what I was
He
trying to
loves them
say.
so much. Give him your Farmero. Put your social up here, please, so we can hand it out.
Farmero Segrios, did you know that detention centers are for profit and privately owned? Those private companies also donate to guess who? Trump. There's lots of shady shit going on with both parties. Yeah, it's both parties, bro. I was in a CCA. I was in a CCA for fucking 5-6 years, brother. And they kept me in a place that they called seclusion. There was segregation, which was lockdown, and then they had another pod in the back in the dark, bro, with no windows or nothing, called seclusion. And they kept me in there because I was supposedly a very dangerous Mexican Mafia member. I had a Marshall's flyer on my door that told all the officers what a bad guy I was, and that my door couldn't be open unless a lieutenant or above was there. I couldn't even shower or go to rec with anybody else. If anybody else was going to the rec pens, I couldn't go out there. The showers were separate. There was 3 rooms, different showers, and I couldn't go into a shower if anybody was in the other rooms, even though I'm locked in the shower and there's no, all these shit. So I know what a CCA is, and they're not answerable to anybody. You cannot, there's no grievance procedure, and then, trying to get into lawsuits because it's not them. They say it's the Marshal Service and all this bullshit. I was in a CCA. It was called Corrections Corporation of America was CCA, is where I was for 6 years, locked in that fucking cell in seclusion. And nothing I could do about getting out. I did grievances. I did a lawsuit. I tried all kinds of, they could care less about none of that shit. Yeah, I was 6 years in that bitch. And they could care less. They don't care about any of that stuff. You just sit there and rot, and they say everything's about, you know, safety and security, and that's how they get away with shit. And and so I knew it's all for profit. That shit's on. I don't think it exists anymore. I think Geo bought them out, but that shit was on the damn New York Stock Exchange or on the Nasdaq, one of the two. I think New York Stock Exchange. It's an actual tradable company, and they actually they so they donate to both parties, whichever party's in play at that time. That's who they donate to. They're not just with the Republican. They're going to donate to whatever party is in charge at that moment, because they want that party to keep them in business. And it's a big business. Arizona has given up a lot of their yards to those places. There's the Geo has now taken over many yards. They closed down one of the oldest and bigger prisons out here in Arizona was the Walls Central Unit. They shut that down and opened up some shit they call La Palma that's run by the Geo unit. Like they've privatized a bunch of prisons out here. And they do it under the guise of, you know, that it's cheaper to run, that the units, the Arizona units were getting old and all this stuff, right? But in the end, it's still privatized, you know, prisons, period. You know, that at the end of the day, that's what's happening. And what's even crazier about that was I saw the difference in the placas. When I was in the state joint, the placas were a little more sophisticated, a little more like placas, you know what I mean? COs. When I was in that CCA, there was actual placas that were that kind of like emic groupies. They would come to my cell and just want to talk to me and hear about like it was a trip, bro. Like they we had them fools. They would bring us whatever we want. I had them bringing food. We had them bringing dope. Like it was. I had one placa I tried to hire. It was me and Shamuco. He was another carnal. He caught his old lady cheat. The placa caught his old lady cheating on him with a firefighter in their little city called Globe out here in Arizona. This dude tried to come and hire us to get somebody to go take that fucking dude out, to take out the fireman because that he caught his old lady cheating on him with. Like that in there, you would trip on all the shit that went on in that place, because it's so they just hire whatever. And most of the people that were getting hired were the people that didn't want to work in the mines out there. So like, and they couldn't, or for whatever reason they got rejected from like the state prison. So their the second shot is this CCA or Geo. So they're getting the riffraff that couldn't work the mines, or that didn't want to work the mines anymore and couldn't work the state. And so there they are. And of course, it all comes out in the way that they act. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about on the privately owned ones. Death Row said California prison changes 75% SNYPC. Lots of dropout convicts don't want take orders. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, bro. And I don't think, again, I've said it before, I don't think that the majority of these yardas turning SNY and PC and all that is because you got a bunch of weak dudes running around. People will try to blame on, this new generation and all that. I don't think that's it at all. I just think that motherfuckers are manning up and saying, I'm not going to take orders by a bunch of tecatos that don't give a damn about me. They're not falling for the bullshit no more, for the propaganda of this is for the raza, there's a cause here. People ain't falling for that shit no more. You ain't gonna tell me to go whack somebody and give up my life for you, and then in the end you're gonna throw me away anyway. Like, people see it now; they seeing it for what it is. Too much has gone on now for it to be hidden. You know what I mean? Like, it's just they can't justify it by the stories anymore. I just said I lost a wallet one time. Person who found it stole my identity, got a job under my name, but the pendejo got to pay my child support for a few months.
Oh.
They were taking his money.
Oh. Well, that's a good one, right?
Yeah.
That's a benefit.
Agent Orange said a friend identity was sold while doing state time in California, but he owed thousands in child support, and by the time he got out, it was paid off.
Wow.
That's good. See, that's where, they don't think of that shit. Barmelo said it takes a long time and they offer the citizenship test in different languages, including Spanish. Barmelo said, Agent Orange, I had a similar situation, laughed my ass off. Did you hear about the lawmaker in Minnesota that was assassinated by a domestic terrorist wild time? Yeah, I did, bro. That dude wore a mask and everything and dressed like a placa. Even had a car, truck, SUV, all like a placa's car. Yeah, that was a trip. And he whacked himself, right? I would say you can go to Mexico and work. You must have your identification, and they do a background check to make sure you're not a fugitive. I lived in Mexico. Yeah, but you got to have the papers. You know what I'm saying? There's a process for it. That's what I'm saying. You can, but you got to do it the right way. You can't sneak over there, get a job, and do it under the table. They'll figure it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's rules everywhere. Some may be harsher than others, but there is rules. Farmero said, to be fair, Jovan, if he was working off your back, he might slip.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. He said, sorry, I had to do it. It was the perfect opportunity.
That's just
Jojo AZ. What's up, Blazer? Saludos, Grio. What's up, brother? How you doing? Respects to everybody. 100. You will. Javier said, to steal Jovan's identity, she most likely had to wear trenzas and huaraches and said, oye, tú a lot.
oh, wow.
City, Javier, you're right. But do people want to get paid in pesos or in dollars? That's why people be going to the U.S.
Maybe if somebody asked me if they could, maybe I might let them, they give me like $100 a month or something or whatever for using it. This is back then, right? But back then, I had to have 2 jobs, you guys. I always worked 2 jobs because I wanted to live in a nice neighborhood, and my child was very spoiled. And I felt that I had to give him everything, because, this one was in prison. So I had to have 2 jobs all the time. But it just looked crazy for my insurance when they're like, hey, you got 4 jobs. And I'm like, excuse me, 4? Yeah. No, I only got 2. You know what I mean? And then come income tax, they're just like, oh, you didn't file for insurance, or you didn't file taxes for this. I'm like, what? So it's like, if somebody would just come to me and say, hey, I'll give you this much a month if you okay, maybe I wouldn't have to take that second job. But just to take it from me, especially, when it was hard to be a single mom.
And then it took the medical benefits from my kid.
Yeah, and then not just that. By the time I figured it out, they were gone, and then I had to prove it, and every time it took anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and then again there was more than 10 people, so it was just a hassle. Yeah.
Bueno, Lira said, buenas noches, gente. Gotta wake up early for work. Respect. Salute. Right. All right, brother. Buenas noches. Appreciate you coming in and kicking it. He said, Jojo, ¿qué hubo, carnalito? Saludos. Javier said, it said they would give you 1,000 to self-deport. However, they're not paying up. It's another Trump lie. Is it? Jojo said, Güero, saludos, carnal. Burkina said they own 5 prisons in New Mexico, CCA. The state bought out one of them a few years ago. Do they still? I didn't know they were still around. I know out here in Arizona, I think the GEO bought all their facilities. They had a few of them right there in Florence too. So the one I was in, it was in Florence, and it held the U.S. Marshals pretrial detainees, and it held immigration also. So anybody that was arrested for federal crimes and was waiting for court would go there, and then and also they had like a section where they had immigration. They had them wearing different outfits though. Immigration had, I can't remember what they wore, but they had different just ¿cómo se dice? The outfit uniform, Jesus. The uniform that we wore or whatever. Burkina said Gio isn't any better. Agent Orange said Bondi is a private prison lobbyist. How convenient. Hub City said most of the problems that you guys are talking about will get fixed if there was an immigration reform, and for it not to take years to get approved, just do a background check and give it to people. Yeah, but they've done it before, bro. They had the whole amnesty in the 80s. In 20 years, we'll be talking about it again because of all the next like if you did immigration reform now, and we did it right, but then where does it stop? The people, does it continue? Like, let's say today, right? That we're, just for sake of argument, they implement these rules. If you're here already, you got to do a background check and you get to stay, right? If the guy sneaks in next week, what happens then? Is he illegal? Does he have to do the background check? So then does that open the door that anybody that gets over here just needs to do a background check? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's easy to just say all they need to do is this, but then where does it stop and how does it continue? You know what I mean? Because they did it once before in the 80s. They did a blanket amnesty. Everybody that was here already, boom, you're here. Yeah, stufa, you're good. But then now we're talking 20, 30 years now, 80, 90 to 30, 40 years of people sneaking in again. We're back to the same problem. So if they were to do it, what you're saying, right? Just do a background check and give it to them. Orale pues. Now we're going to do that today or, this year, 2025. If you're here in 2025 and before, just come, let us do a background check. If you haven't gotten in any trouble, you're all good. You're here to stay. Orale, firme. What about all the people that come in 2026 and 2027 and 2028? What do you do with them? Like that's the problem. Like, it's a never ending issue. There has to come a point where they're just going to say, boom, that's it. Doors are closed. That's the question. Like, when does that happen? Because a lot of people will say that should never happen. And that's just not realistic. You can't just keep it open forever. Because some of the shit they say, bro, is valid. There are people coming here from other countries too that wish to do us harm. You may have Al Qaeda or whatever terrorist of the day is trying to sneak over here that way. I mean, those are valid issues also. So what do you do with that? And again, it's
And you do have your people that come over here, and not just from Mexico, different countries
Mhm.
that are coming, and they really are murdering and raping people and selling drugs. They really are.
Yeah.
Look at that Valenzuela guy killed that girl in New York.
The two guys under the bridge.
Two
Yeah.
guys that raped and killed that girl. I mean, it is happening. I know the way he talks. Oh, they're rapists or yes, but most of them are. They are here to do harm, and it does put a bad name for everybody else. But a lot of them have been caught with rape charges and child molestation charges and things like that, and then they've been sent back, and they come back and they do the same thing. And it's just,
and it's unfortunate they give a bad name to the rest. But again, when do you say enough is enough and everybody just has to suffer for it? I mean, there's got to come a time when the gates just are shut, period. And I mean, I don't know what that looks like and what kind of rules would be then, but it can't just be, it can't be just as easy as come do a background check and you got it. Because some of the gente that are coming, they haven't done nothing yet. But like she said, that there was those two dudes from Venezuela. They came 4 days after getting to the United States. They killed that little girl, raped and killed her under the bridge.
And
like,
they had been deported before, and they came back.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then they raped and killed her. That's somebody's baby. Imagine, she's 16 years old.
Yeah, I just think that it needs to be a broader conversation where the only accusation can't just be racism and hatred, and that's not it. There has to be a broader conversation of just how do we protect our country, period. This is our country, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and I understand why everybody would want to be here. But we also have to know that everybody that wants to be here doesn't have our best interest at heart. And that's the facts. Agent Orange, big facts, said Palmero. Ty, there he is. Ty 602 said, beat 2-3.
Oh, hello, Ty.
What's up, brother? They were asking about you earlier.
People were asking for you. Okay.
People wondering what you're doing, if you're on the blade still or what's going
Mr.
on.
Popular over here.
Burqueño said, Ty. Gave the fist bump. Ty said, Burqueño, salute. Jojo said, just left His Highness crib. As I'm walking out the door, she hit me with the, I'm hungry. I said, that's too damn bad.
Oh.
You should have got her some Filibertos before they shut it down, bro.
Should have cooked for her.
Or that. Burqueño said, no.
Oh, I'll cook her a plate. I've been cooking lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
No, yeah.
I swear, you got one. I'm not gonna cook tomorrow then if you're gonna act like that. Really?
What?
Stop looking at that meat.
Burqueño said, no, he's in custody now, the guy who killed the politician. Oh, is he? I thought he whacked himself. I saw that he left like a one of his roommates read off a text message that he had wrote him and stuff before he did it. I thought he whacked himself. That's crazy. They booked him, huh? Agent Orange said, El famoso Jojo. Jojo said, A.O. Burqueño said, CCA owned 2 of them. Gio owned 3. The CCA owned Grants and Estancia. I'm not sure about today, though. Yeah, I remember. So when Pablo, Cuervo, Indio, and the Cisnero brothers and them had that muerte out there in New Mexico, they were held at the CCA in Estancia. I remember that. That's where they were actually. They whacked that Vato and his son in Lubbock, Texas. No, not Texas. Lubbock, New Mexico. Is that what it's called? I can't remember exactly, but I know they held them in the CCA in Estancia. Javier said, Trump pardoned the January 6 rioters, over 1,000. He just freed a child trafficker from Russia, a drug dealer who was Jay-Z's buddy. They bought $1 million plane at Mar-a-Lago. He's selling pardons. Plate. I know he also pardoned those two Mexican guys from Texas that they just finished doing. They were doing life, I think, but they were in there for 31 years. The Botello brothers were their names. I know he pardoned them too, and he's been partying quite a bit. Though that the gay dude and his wife.
Oh, the Chrisleys.
Yeah, the Chrisleys.
He's not gay.
Oh, okay.
He's not.
Okay. Hub City Tony said, yes, I understand your point of view, but would you rather know who's here or not know their background? It's harder, brother. I see your point of view. Yeah, it's hard. Again, yeah, no, I see your point of view. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a broader conversation to be had. Like, it's not an easy one. Unfortunately, people they bring the conversation down to just accusations of racism and hatred, but it's not that. It needs to be had, the serious conversation of what do we do, how do we do it, and then what? You know what I mean? Like, you have to do it. That you have to have that conversation. The Universe Galaxy said, hey, are all topics welcome, and can people in the audience join the program then? All topics are welcome, and as far as joining the program, I've never really done it much. I've had a few people come in here and there, but usually people don't like ask to be in here for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, we're open to it. But yes, any topic is, as long as it's respectful, bro. I don't want people going back and forth, just disrespecting each other, cussing each other out. I mean, we're having an adult, conversation here, debate, argument, whatever you want to call it. And if we can keep it that way, then absolutely. There's no reason why we can't, people can't discuss things in a respectful adult manner, Ty 602 said, welcome to America. America.
Welcome to America. Remember Rocky?
Oh, yeah.
Why did I start going into the road?
I don't know. Rocky 4. Oh, no, he did that on, he did that on 3. Apollo Creed.
Apollo.
Yeah. Parmelo said immigrants are 50% less likely to commit violent crimes. What happened to that child is unforgivable, but the fact it was an immigrant that did it doesn't make it worse. Americans do it way more. Yeah, and you're right, bro. But the problem is, and again, I don't want to sound like the prissy American, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're gonna say, and I totally agree.
But it's our country to do what the fuck we want with. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and if you're gonna go somewhere, like if you come to my house, bro, or listen, I go to your house. I'm gonna be as respectful as I can, right? I'm gonna sit down to dinner. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna rinse my plate off. I'm gonna be very respectful because it's not my place. And you may just get up and leave your plate sitting there and walk around and do what you want to do. And I'm not saying that's right, but
It's your place.
it's my place. It's your place. You know what I'm saying? And so, obviously it doesn't excuse it. We have rules behind that. There's laws. People go to prison. I did 20 years for being that such a dumbass. And so it is that way, but it's almost like it's almost like a fuck you when you go somewhere else and do that. You know what I mean? And I get what you're saying. They're less likely. My jefita knows nothing. Like I became a gangster and everything that I was because my mom was so naive to any of that. You know what I mean? When I was wearing Dickies, she thought I was dressing up for school. She's a paisa. She's from Mexico. She didn't know that cultura. She doesn't know anything like that. She was, she came from Mexico as an adult, not even as a kid. So she walked into something not knowing what this world was about. So, I understand that my jefita she actually went to college, got a PhD now in psychology. Like she worked her way through that. So I understand that not all of them are committing violent crimes and all that. Unfortunately, the few that do kind of fuck it up for the rest. It's not fair, but what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like that's kind of the way the world works. You one person can fuck it up for everybody. And it's not fair, but that's the way it works. And I hope, but again, it's a much broader conversation than just that, because we're not saying that they are all criminals and violent. Obviously, we know that that's not the case, but we need to figure out how do we weed that out then? You know what I mean? How do we make it so that people don't have to suffer for those idiots that are doing that? Because we also know that all the drogas that are in this country are coming through that border. The little kids that are suffering from, the coyotes and stuff, taking them through the border, that's all coming through that. I mean, all that stuff needs to be tampered down too. There are people dying, and I get it. Supply and demand. It's the dumb Americans that want to get high. I get it. It's both sides. But we can control one, shutting that shit down. And if we can do that, then I think it's incumbent upon us to do it. It doesn't mean that all the legal ones that want to come work shouldn't come, but it just needs to be done, and we need to figure it out. Parmero said, Orale, Ty. Ty said, I am the blade.
Oh, God, not the blade.
There you go.
You won that?
He says,
That's
salute.
all you?
Salute, Farmero. You got it down like that,
That's
bro?
you?
We drove through there the other day, man. You gotta. Them girls need some clothes, bro.
Dude. I'm like, oh my God. Bro.
Farmero said, yeah, he got caught alive, which is super rare. Even that situation, so much lies and information. Yeah, I haven't seen much about it, bro. Honestly, I haven't been really watching as much TikTok and YouTube as I have, but more on things that I'm trying to learn because I'm trying to do things. I'm actually, honestly, one of the things that I want to do is I want to start a series. I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or on TikTok or which way I'm going to do it, maybe both, or Facebook. I want to start a series on trying different kind of like hustles, like legal hustles that I can put on here for ex-felons, you know what I mean? For people coming out the joint and maybe they can try it. Just different things that I've been seeing. I've been thinking of actually doing them, seeing how they work and how they come out, and recording doing them and how it comes out, and maybe putting them out here so I can help other people that are felons and, you know, that can't get regular, that are harder to get regular jobs and stuff. I was thinking of doing a series like that, something that would help well, everybody, really, anybody, but, you know, the target audience is obviously the, you know, ex-gang prisoners and people that want to change their life and that they can, you know, hustle and work for their family. And so I'm just trying to figure things out. I've been watching a lot of that. I haven't seen a lot. I mean, I catch some things obviously because the it sends it to me, but I haven't been paying so much attention to it. Javier said, Jojo, I know how you're feeling. I'm dating a big girl. She can eat. We go to a drive-through and she sounds like she's dialing a phone number. She asked for a 4393865.
Lord.
Farmero said Lubbock, Texas. No, it was New Mexico, bro. I can't remember where it was though.
435.
It was so Indio, Pablo Cuervo, and the Cisnero brothers, they drove out there and they whacked a prison guard and his son. And his son was like a a high school star and all this stuff. And it was a big deal. They had it on they put it on that Gangland. It was also on America's Most Wanted, all that stuff. And but it was out of, man, I can't remember what it was called. Something in New Mexico though. And so they were housed in Estancia, CCA, New Mexico. And actually, that was the first case that the feds, they dismissed all charges in New Mexico in the 8th Circuit, I think it was, and they recharged them in the 9th Circuit here in Arizona, where the crime didn't even happen. And they said they did it for security reasons because New Mexico didn't have the proper security to be able to house the sophisticated gang members. And you know, it was all propaganda, but it was a way to,
Oh, they're sophisticated.
yeah, that's what they
Calm
got them.
down.
And Luis Cisneros is one of the ones that ended up, I got him on the post. He's now a California MM member in the feds.
Oh, look at, he made it.
Yeah, he's
He did it. Good job. Leave your kids out here and
he did
go
that.
be a gang member in there. Awesome. Good job for him.
He did do that.
Send him a card.
Ty said, Trump doing some gangster-ish for sure. Farmero said, did you see the veteran that refused Trump's pardon? He said he refused it because it was dishonest and January 6th was an insurrection. Wouldn't be surprised if he turns up pushing daisies. I didn't see that. Did he really? Crazy.
I did not see that. Farmero.
Hub City said, Farmero, that's true. I have a friend that he was born here and he's always going to jail because he be breaking the laws. This one time I asked him, why don't you get a job and be a good person? And his answer was, I don't behave because I won't get deported. Cortatela, bro. Come on. Farmero said, all topics are welcome except for Jovan's ears. Jovan's lack of papers, Grillo's content creation skills, and how young Grillo looks. Jovan gets upset when we talk about those things.
First of all, I am upset now because
that is
he
true.
doesn't look young. Second of all, stop calling him a content creator because he's not. And he's just obsessed with himself. You know that next to our bedside, he has a picture of himself, you guys? Like, not even a picture of me and his son. He has a picture of himself.
What's wrong with that?
Why? Who does that?
Listen, I am a content creator. Look.
It's the truth they don't want to see.
I'm a rapper too. This is me right here, guys.
Broken dreams. Prison Chronicles, revealing the real cause. No glamour, no glory, just the lives lost.
See that? Content creation at its finest.
Oh.
Let me see. Where are we at? Laugh my ass off, Farmero, said Ty. Agent Orange said a few years back, ICE would send a list of back social security numbers to hospitality industry, giving them a 30-day heads up to clear up their employees' files with no consequences to stolen identity. Would they? Well, I worked in hotels a long time. I never saw that out there, but we weren't here in the area where I'm sure, like in border towns or nothing like that. Agent Orange said bad, but I know you worked in that shit, so you would know. Farmero said, I understand what you're saying, Grio, but that's the American ego talking. Yeah, of course it is. I know, but that's what you're.
And
But
also, I get upset. Like we need to take care of ourselves before we could take care of anybody else.
yeah,
We're at the grocery store, like trying to make it, and here, like I told the story, we have some women and kids, and they got, expensive clothes and expensive watch and Louis purses and all this stuff, but yet they're paying with the food stamp
I
card.
got the fucking SNAP card,
and they're not from here clearly because they're wrapped from head to toe. So
yeah, they were actually from. Yeah, they had to be from some Arab country, but yeah.
but it's like, take care of us first.
And Farmero, I hear you, bro, and it's true. But that when you know what you're up against, you have to deal with it, and that's what you're up against: the American ego. You know what I'm saying? Like the other side, that's one of their arguments, and whether fair or not, you have to. You're up against it. They're not going to give that up. The ego's not going to go away. So somehow, some way, everyone has to come to some type of conclusion where everybody is happy or where nobody's happy, I guess. Is like people say, a good deal is when everybody feels fucked. You know what I mean? But I mean, you have to have the conversation that's at hand. You can't just say, well, you're just speaking out of your ego, so it doesn't count, because you're not going to get anywhere like that. It's unfortunate, but it's true, Not everybody is as down to earth and understanding and logical as me. Ty said, bricks anyone?
You don't even believe that.
I said, our American dollar is in jeopardy. Hey, the bricks, you
Not
cannot.
your American dollar, Ty. You're on the blade.
On the blade, bro.
You are working.
That dollar don't even get taxed, bro.
It's so crazy down there. What the heck is going on?
Burkina said, fact is, if there was an easy solution to immigration, it would have been implemented long ago. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the fact, bro. I think, unfortunately, this is going to be this will be a topic for a long time to come. Again, they thought they solved it in the 80s when they gave amnesty. Honestly, if you look back at old footage and you read up on all that, they thought it was over. They thought, okay, amnesty, we're good now. They didn't think that, the next day someone else was going to cross that border and they'd have to deal with it again in 20 years. Farmero said, Burqueño, facts. The thing that baffles me, though, is deportation comes at an insane cost, but mass amnesty actually generates revenue. It's kind of already an easy decision which way to lean fiscally. Yeah, but I think that, again, the problem is it's a solution for today. And then what do you do tomorrow? Is it mass amnesty from here on out? That's what no one wants to answer. What do you do then? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you just let's say every 10 years let's have amnesty? Well, in that case, just fucking open the border. I don't know. I just think it's not as easy as that. Farmero said 8675309. I know Grio's too young for that reference, but Jovan should know. LOL freaking.
Okay, I know it's a song.
Freaking
but
crew.
Everybody knows that.
He put LOL freaking cougar.
No, a cougar?
You are.
I'm not a cougar. You're older than me.
No. Sicko?
Oh, shut up. Don't call me a sicko.
Hub City. Good night, Carnali. It was good talking to you guys. Good night, brother.
Good night.
Good night, Tony said Ty. Agent Orange said more cushion for the pushing, Jojo.
Oh, yeah.
Burkina said New Mexico wild. A friend of mine and my wife's got 2 years for a burger. Went all the way from first degree to manslaughter. Oh, murder. He got out about 5 months ago. Is that right? 2 years, huh?
Yeah.
First degree to manslaughter. Wish I could have did that.
No, but you're done. You just kept getting in trouble. You didn't know when to stop. It's like he's like being in there or something, huh?
That was fucking harsh.
Oh, God.
Hope City Tony said, for reals, that was his answer. I think that's a dumb answer. Hell yeah. I wouldn't even think of that, bro. Porque said, New Mexico justice system is a joke. Javier said, Trump must be part Mexicano because he's a tranza. He has a lot of baby mamas and he lives in government housing. Trampa. Damn, a producer of music as well, said Ty. You like that, bro? See that? Yeah. Telling you. Agent Orange said, doesn't everyone have a self-portrait of themselves?
Oh my gosh. No, he didn't.
And it's not, listen, it's the picture, you guys have seen it. It's where I'm handcuffed behind my back in the white. That was a CCA in that picture, actually, in my cell. Fuckers wouldn't even take the handcuffs off to do a picture of me. I had to keep my hands handcuffed behind my back. But anyway, it's that picture. And when we moved, I told you that we moved. So I was looking through my shit and I found it and I put it right there.
Okay, but it's been there for 2 weeks. Now take it off.
Well, I don't know where to put it. It looks good right there. It goes with the ambiance.
No, it doesn't. I'm just like, oh my God.
Ty 602 said straight cash, homie. Right? You see that, Ty? And that's only one of the songs, bro. Look at this one. Yeah. Look at it. Oh. Yay.
They said it was power. They said it was love. Said I'd find family when push came to shove, but the block don't hug and the gang don't cry. Just pour out bottles every time one dies. I was just a kid with no map, no plan, looking for a reason, joined up with the clan. Tattoo pain in invisible ink. Now I sit back, watch my past and think, yeah, these are the chronicles. The real, not the myth. Where loyalty's a lie and the cost is your breath. Where brothers become ghosts and time just slips. Where pride and pain come with blood on your lips. We don't.
Alright. Joanne made me cut it off. I know you guys wanted to hear it. Javier said Trump had a lot of rucas, but I bet he couldn't handle Big Bertha in her heydays. Oh. Imagine Trump smoking a frio and waking up naked next to Big Bertha. Oh. Hey, bro. He probably did smoke a few frios in his day. That motherfucker was weird. You guys ever seen that video of him dancing at the what's it called? Or that place where the negros had on TV? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Soul Train? That
Soul Train. Him. Yes, it is.
That is not him.
Yes, it is.
I know who you're talking about. That's not him. It's a lookalike.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Is that him?
That's him. All skinny and tall with the long hair. That's him.
Well, Bill Clinton, he smoked a...
Oh, he a freak too. That motherfucker.
Didn't he say he didn't inhale?
Yeah, that was his thing.
The whole thing. I didn't inhale.
Yeah, no, but he was worse than that. He was a freak. They said, I remember we worked, I worked with a person that used to work at the hotel that he when he was governor. Mm-hmm. And they said that they had his whole hotel room retrofitted and they put like a door in like a back door so that when Hillary came in the front, she could sneak out the back. Any woman he had. I've seen the video where Giuliani was dressed in drag and Trump at his side. I haven't seen that one, Burqueño.
They're all freaking weirdos like that.
Yeah, that was all of them, man. They all got that Diddy syndrome.
Because I think once you just have that much money, they figure, what else do you do?
Yeah.
Little sickos.
Well, if I had that kind of money, I know I wouldn't do that. Anyway, órale pues. We've been 2 hours here, so we're going to shut it down. They're all blowing each other at the end of the day, Trump included. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Aside from the politics, all of them are a bunch of weirdos for sure. I just said, Cricket is a man of many talents. He has the capability to train an indigenous woman. Yeah, bro. She took the bone out of her nose.
What? Really?
Who was that? Eddie. That one, don't remember?
I don't know.
You don't remember that? Eddie Murphy?
You guys say I abuse him. He's always talking stuff to me, you guys.
Half Eddie.
Listen, I work 8 hours. I come. I try to cook dinner. I try to be nice to him. And then he's always talking smack to me. You guys think I'm the bully? He's become quite the little bully lately. You
She
guys.
did try to cook dinner.
Okay, so here's the problem. Okay, so I we're trying to like, buy more like organic stuff, whatever. So I got sea salt, okay? Thinking, oh, okay, it's good, it's organic, it's sea salt. But it's coarse.
She bought coarse sea salt, so it's big ass fucking
No.
big ass grains of salt, and she fucking poured that on the steak tonight. And I hate salt. I can't have like it's my.
I try not to put so much because I know that it's big, but it's like the only salt that we have, so I had to season it. But as we're eating, it's really salty. So I think what I'll do is with like the leftover meat, maybe throw it in some rice or potatoes or I don't know, something. I'll figure out something tomorrow, but it was a little salty.
Yeah, a little.
But I think we should really go get better salt.
I said shards of salt. Yes.
Okay.
Shards, bro. Coarse sea salt. This one, look.
I didn't mean.
Look at the piece. You guys can see the big ass pieces.
Okay, well, you don't have to do all that. Okay, that's okay. Great. Jeez.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
They're all Javier Burkina said appreciate it, guys. Have a good night. B23 all day. LOL said Ty. Does Joanne still speak now? What? Or has she forgotten her first language?
Oh no, sir. I don't.
Just buy a grinder for the salt. That's what I did. Yeah, that's what we'll probably have to do, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably will have to for that shit because that shit is big.
It's kind of big, yeah. And then they say that, like, as you're cooking meat, right, you're supposed to put a lot because it's gonna
melt
anyway or cook, right? But
it melted right into that shit.
I mean, actually, when I took the meat out, you could still see a lot of this. The salt was sprinkling off the meat. Like I can see it from here. Look, see it?
Yeah, like it looks like shards of.
And then you don't have to put your napkin over stuff so that it looks like you ate your food. You know, like when you're a kid and you move your food around.
I eat everything
except for the napkin right there.
Except for the meat.
I mean, I get it. It was salty. I get it. But.
Javier said, "Buenas noches. Good times are here to stay." Yes, see. All right, brothers. We appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in.
Next time, maybe we'll have a better discussion. I get it.
I think this was a good discussion.
Yeah, I know. I know we're not going to always agree, but we could agree to disagree. And I think you guys are still really great people. And I thank you guys for letting us have our opinions.
You know what I like? I like that we can have these conversations without people fucking tripping. In most other places, you can't. So
yeah.
That's good.
But I think, you guys just have a good work week. Be safe out there. It's tough out here. I don't know how our price is getting over there. I know that they're getting a little bit better over here, grocery wise, but there's still some things that are a little high. Gas is still a little high in some places, but eggs have gone down. Some of the groceries have gone down a little bit, so
yeah,
it's getting a little bit better. But,
Foods or steaks came in, said bacon has arrived. Okay.
Oh, well, where were you baking earlier when I was cooking?
You missed the party. Big motherfucker said peace. All right, brothers. Appreciate everybody. Till the next one. Buenas noches. You guys want to hear another one of my songs?
Be safe out there.
Should I play another one of my songs?
No. And what's that? Are you like trying to jam?
Okay.
This ain't just a podcast. It's a warning. Every story told came at the cost of blood, time, or tears. We don't glorify it. We break it down. Welcome to the shadows where the truth don't lie, where the streets raise kids and the good ones die, where loyalty's twisted and pain runs deep and real homies disappear while fake ones eat.
I do finish those dishes.
Good night, everybody. I want to hear amazing so far. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much again. Till the next one.
The next one.